Chapter 26. Walk Off Loss. I plop down on the couch. So, I say to Mr. Murphy, the Sox are down by 2 points? Yeah, but you say runs, not points. And he frowns at the TV. Oh, I am nervous now. He sounds angry. I've been wondering about him and the adoption book. I figure that if Mrs. Murphy took out the book, she must be okay with the idea. But I wonder if he will go for it, if he likes me at all. He is sitting on the edge of the couch, resting his elbows on his knees. The Yankees have the bases loaded with no outs. The guy at bat has the number 2 on his jersey. How intimidating can he be with a number like that? Number 2 hits the ball and ends up with a double. Mr. Murphy slaps his leg. You're kidding me, he yells. I'd like to ask what the attraction is of watching it if it makes him miserable. The doorbell rings and Mrs. Murphy answers it and Tony comes around the corner. I meet her in the kitchen. Hey, Connors. What's up? Tony asks, smiling. Ceiling, I say. Mrs. Murphy laughs. You think you're pretty funny, don't you, Connors? Don't get a swelled head 'cause your mother laughs. She probably thought that what you left in your diaper was a masterpiece. With the word mother, Mr. and Mrs. Murphy look questioningly at me. It's bothering me that I haven't told Tony the truth. The more I like her, the more silence feels like a lie. Tony's attention turns toward the TV. She walks in that direction, stepping just inside the family room. Yep, Tony says, there is nothing better than baseball on a Sunday afternoon. My dad and I watch it whenever he's home. Mr. Murphy looks like he's ready to adopt her. Maybe she'll win me some brownie points if she's sitting around talking about the wonders of the blessed Red Sox. And there's nothing better, she continues, than watching the Red Sox get pummeled into the dust by the Yanks. Don't you love a team that goes 86 years without winning a series, and when they finally do, they act like they own baseball? Okay, in my mind, I see this whole thing as a car teetering on a cliff, rocking back and forth. Losers, she says. Sox fans are nothing but losers. And the car goes off, falling and falling. Mr. Murphy, his head turns slowly, and he glares up at her as if she was just pulled a gun out. She finally gets around to looking at him, noticing his Red Sox hat and the Dropkick Murphys shirt. Oh, she says sorry. I have never imagined Tony retreating from anyone, but she is out there in a shot, back in the kitchen with me and Mrs. Murphy. I have a few things to say about Yankees fans. He yells at us. Now, Jack, Mrs. Murphy is amused. Remember, you're the adult here. You really have a way with people, I say to Tony. Well, I won you over, didn't I, Connors? And you were pretty rough stuff at the first day we met. Downright terrifying, I'd say. She laughs. Actually, you looked more like you were going to pee your pants. She's right. I hate thinking of myself as a coward. It bothers me how, even though I act brave, things still scare me on the inside. Listen, Byers, I say, I could take you any day of the week. And if I think back to the way things really happened, I did. Terrifying is right. You better believe it. God, Connors, you're beginning to sound like me. I hear there are psychiatrists for that kind of thing. Nice, Connors. Real nice. And Tony smirks. Mrs. Murphy is at the sink now, and sometimes I think she's chained to it. Daniel comes in dribbling his basketball, and his mother asks him to stop. While Daniel goes to the fridge for a Gatorade, Michael, Eric, and Adam drag a bag of cars into the kitchen. Boys, you can't find another place? I'm working here, Mrs. Murphy says, cutting up green peppers. But Mom, Michael Eric says, you're always working, and we need the lines for roads. At first, I don't know what he means, and then I see Adam setting up matchbox cars on the grout lines of the tile. She sighs, but lets it go. So, Connors, Tony says, will your mom let you go for a walk or something before dinner? Mom, I panic. I have to cut this off before. Michael Eric looks up. Is Carly's mommy here? Tony looks like she's feeling sorry for Michael Eric, like he is oatmeal for brains. Come on, I say, let's shoot hoops. I turn to go, praying she will follow. Well, is she? Michael Eric stands. Is she here to take Carly away? Hearing him say that and looking at his big blinking eyes gets to me, but I shake it off. Michael Herrick, you're such a joker. I look toward Mrs. Murphy. So, is it okay if I go? I ask her. She turns towards me and looks sad. And I want to be able to freeze everyone else in time and ask her why. Because I'm a liar, or because she'd like me to be her daughter, or because the thought is so terrible that it makes her cry? Don't go so far, she says, and for her, that's a perfect answer. It says yes, but I'm worried about you. I turn to go, and Tony does too. I can tell she thinks something is weird, but what really shocks me is that Daniel hasn't outed me. I hear Michael Eric running, coming up behind me. Before I can say anything, he's wrapped his arms around my leg and is laughing. Carly, Carly, your mom is my mom, and your dad is my dad too? And you're going to stay here with us for always? Daniel finally lets out a small burst of laughter. I can't believe you didn't tell her. Daniel, it's not your business, Mrs. Murphy says. She already is coming towards us. Wait, Tony says, with one eye practically closed. She's not your mother? Is she an aunt or something? Daniel folds his arms and laughs again, and his mother shoots him a glare that shuts him up. No, Michael Eric calls. Carly is from the Fosters. No, Michael Eric, a red-faced Mrs. Murphy says. Not from the Fosters. She puts her hand on the side of of his face, and bends over to look him in the eye. Go back to your cars now, okay, pal? Tony's face is red now, too, as if she's been the victim of a practical joke. I search my head for something, anything, to explain, because I wasn't just silent. When I called the Murphys mom or dad, I was lying. I just really liked the sound of it. And the agony already, Daniel says. Tell her you're a foster kid. She turns to me. You're a foster kid? This isn't your family? That hurts. Tony, her eyes narrow. You lied to me about who you are? Is your name even Carly Connors? Or is that a big fat lie too? I'm sorry, Tony. I never meant to lie. But being a foster kid, I swallow hard and try to count as I speak. Being a foster kid is just so, you can't believe how humiliating it is. And Daniel doesn't look amused anymore. And his mother looks like she's going to cry. And I want to run, but I know I can't. I have to stand and take it this time. I didn't know what you'd think of it, I plead. I'm still me. Please, Tony, you're my best friend. I'm so dumb. She makes two fists. I told you everything about me, and you just... She steps away from me. See ya, Jane Doe, or whoever you are. As I'm trying to get my head around the J. Doe comment, she spins and bolts out the door. The Murphys all look at me, but I can't look at them. So I study the white threads on my high tops. The last three letters in friend are E-N-D, end. If you take out the N, you get fried, F-R-I-E-D. Mrs. Murphy moves towards me, and I back quickly into the wall, hitting my head on the door frame. I was right about being a foster kid. It is humiliating. Oh, Carly, she says in that voice that I just can't hear now. Yeah, whatever, I say, cutting her off, and I run upstairs to the fireman room, close the door, crawl under the bed, say a prayer that she won't come looking for me, and hope that Tony will forgive me. For a few seconds, I even try to cry, but I can't. So that's the end of chapter 26. So as we conclude this chapter, I want you to think about being in the perspective of Carly and Tony. And think about, if you were Carly, how would you be feeling right now? And do you think she did the right thing up until this point? And now I want you to think about Tony. And if you were in Tony's position and her perspective, would you be just as angry as Tony? And why or why not? And also think about going forward, how do you think that Tony's going to react towards Carly now? Do you think Tony is going to give her a second chance and accept it and be behind and have kind of Carly's back? Or do you think Tony is never going to forgive Carly and is going to go around and tell everybody who Carly really is?